Playing in mud is essential. It's not just messy, it's essential for development. The dirtier the day, the deeper the development. My sister-in-law just sent me a picture of my niece, and she was covered head to toe in mud. They'd just been camping all weekend, and her mom sent it with the caption, "She is as dirty as she is happy," which is a lot. And it just gave me so much joy to see her playing in mud. Mud is so crucial for little kids, and it's something we try to sterilize out of their childhood. Yes, it's a mess and it's unpredictable, but it builds their confidence, it builds their joy, and it helps center them. It is completely worth the extra laundry and an extra bath. I'm going to tell you 5 essential reasons why your child needs to play in mud for a healthy development. I mean, surely you remember playing in mud. Surely you remember those times where you got so dirty, whether it was a camping trip or just playing in the yard or after a rainstorm, and you just couldn't resist making a mud pie or building a castle or seeing just how high you could get it to go. If you have one of those memories, please write it down in the comments below. I would love to read it. I have a memory of taking mud in my hands and squishing it and feeling all the different uneven chunks of mud in my hand. And when I think about that feeling, I feel calm again. I feel the thrill too. I feel the thrill of getting dirty in the mud. But also there's a piece of me that just feels so calm. I want to show you my dirt pit that I've created for my kids. It is just some dirt we had to move, and so we stacked it up, and it's just this kind of odd rectangle, but we've put buckets, we have tractor toys, we have a colander, a couple colanders, and some good shovels. And then of course we have our water source that the kids can turn it on, and then they can take buckets of water over to their dirt pit and make wonderful mud. Having this dirt pit has been really fun to see how my own children have used it, but also how neighbor kids have come in. Some of them will come and it is a mission. How much dirt can I move? How much dirt can I go from one bucket to the next? How much dirt can I get completely wet and muddy? And how can I squish that mud? And some kids just sit with the mud and they just are centered. They do that little kid squat and they just feel it and they look at it, and you can tell that they're just trying to piece life together. Maybe not like the whole cosmic life, but their little lives, they're centering. And it is the best sensory experience, which is my first reason that your child should play in mud. Is it is so good for their senses. When their body is able to get enough sensation through different senses, not just touch, but when kids are sitting outside and in the dirt, they are feeling temperature, they're feeling texture, they're feeling the sun, the wind, they're doing hot and cold, they're hearing the birds, they're smelling the air. It makes a kid calmer and gives them peace. It is so essential for them, which is why, I'm sorry I have to say it right now, but I hate sensory bins. They just, and I'm sorry if you love them, but I have a huge beef with them. One, because they are expensive and they're full of little parts and they never all stay in the bin unless you're like hanging over your child being like, keep it in the bin, keep it in the bin, keep it in the bin. Or, you know, you're blessed with one of those like keep everything nice and neat children. They exist. But most children aren't like that. And it just creates this huge mess and you're trying to find all the pieces because you paid for it. And in my brain, just take them outside. Go put them in mud. Go get some water and some dirt and a shovel and put them in mud because it is so much better for them. Sensory bins are like chicken nuggets, and then mud is like the full nutritious steak. Like, you want to give your kid the good stuff every single time. And I wish I could do a different analogy than chicken nuggets because I know a lot of kids love chicken nuggets, but we all know they're just not that great. And I guarantee any child, if they're exposed enough, they will take mud 100% every time over a sensory bin. And again, I say if they're exposed enough, because if your child only knows sensory bins, mud might be kind of weird to start with. But if you get them in it enough, 100% mud is so much better for them. And that brings me to reason number 2, why you need to get your kids out in the mud. Their motor skills, okay? When they're getting in the mud, one, they're squatting down, but also they're sitting, they're standing, they're lifting buckets, they're chugging water over, like they're moving muscles and scooping with dirt. They are moving so many gross motor skills, but also fine motor skills when they are playing in mud. In the book Balanced and Barefoot, Angela Hanscom is a pediatric occupational therapist. And she talks about how she starts seeing all these kids who are just falling out of their desks and they don't know how to hold a pencil and they cannot focus to save themselves. And they can't even cut with scissors. It's not because they're bad kids or naughty kids. It's because they haven't done enough movement in their lives to build up those core muscles. And she says if they're playing in nature, if they're playing in mud, this is going to build those gross motor skills and those fine motor skills. Like I said, they're squatting down, they're standing up, they're holding sticks, that kind of motion over and over again, picking up rocks, trying to lift a heavy log. Those kind of motions help a child strengthen those muscles so that they are prepared to sit in a class and work those ab muscles to sit in a chair for that long or to hold a pencil. And a kid is playing in mud, they are digging, they're scooping, they're stirring, and they are using all those muscles, again, gross and fine muscles, to make something amazing, but they're having fun and they're engaging themselves, and it is so crucial to their own body's development. And with all this physical movement that they're doing, it helps them be able to be coordinated later to do everyday tasks that they're asked to do later in life. But they need to build those muscles when they're young. And they do that through play. Reason number 3, mud is essential to your child's development. It gives them problem-solving skills. It makes them into little scientists and engineers and experimenters. They start building. They are ready to see how much water do you need to put with mud to make it thick, to make it thin. They're gonna stir it, they're gonna build it. They're gonna give themselves their own challenges to say, what can I do? How hard can I make this? Can I make this harder? And can I figure out the problem? Kids do that all the time, and they constantly are challenging themselves, and they're not just going for the easy goal. They're gonna stretch themselves just by their own goals that they create. If you give them enough time, they will create enough goals that they're going to accomplish, and they're going to say, okay, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? How can I make this happen? And they're going to build with mud, and they're going to either dig a pit, they're going to build it up, they're going to stir it, they're going to make some potions. They are going to create, they're going to have hypothesis, I've never known how to say that one. Hypothesize, they're going to hypothesize. Yes. But with mud, it builds critical thinking. And it helps them to adapt and be flexible. Which brings me to my fourth, we're on the 4th reason, why mud is so important. And I want to illustrate this with a story. I was watering the garden and my child saw the hose and he wanted to turn. So I said, sure. And we have all these dirt hills right now because I want to make a really big hill for my kids. But right now we have all these tiny dirt hills. And so he started watering them. And water got everywhere, and it was just mud, which was delicious mud. It was wonderful. Divine mud, should I say. He started tromping around in it in his bare feet, and within 10 minutes, he wanted to go take a shower. And I was just like, no, like, you have the option for me to wash off your feet with the hose, but we're staying outside. And he didn't want to use the hose, and he complained for like 10 minutes, and he convinced me to turn on a timer. So I set a timer, and it was for an hour. And after 10 minutes, I saw his feet, and this mud was just clumping on his feet. Like his feet weren't even recognizable. I tell him, hey, you look like you have troll feet. And he loved that idea. His imagination was sparked. And he started tromping around and shouting, who's that tromping over my bridge? And he loved it. And I think he lasted like another 50 minutes just stomping around in the mud. And it was so much fun to see him do that. But because of that, because he had to be muddy, it built up his endurance to feel a little uncomfortable, but he got used to it and he became flexible and he became imaginative. And it was awesome to see him change the scenario where mom won't let me go inside versus I am a troll and I am going to catch that billy goat. So much fun. And my fifth reason for why mud play is essential is that it connects children to nature, but it connects them to themselves. So we had some neighbor kids come over the other day, and one of them, he took my hose and he at first watered the lawn a little bit and went over there, but then he took the hose and he sat and he just watered the dirt pit. And he probably did that for about 10 minutes straight, which when I told his mom, she's like, you should have told him to stop. Like, he's just wasting water. But just keeping him in the corner of my eye, he just let the water run. And it's not like he was listening to anything. He was just sitting there and he was just watching it go and watching it sink into the dirt, making mud. And I could tell that he was just calm, which was awesome. He needed that stillness, and I'm so glad he got it. So my invitation to you for your children to get the essentials of mud, make space for it. Make space for dirt and a water source, and make space and get them clothes that they can get dirty, that are from the thrift shop or secondhand, that you don't care about them getting a mess. And plan for a bath. You know, you don't have to make it into a big thing. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be simple. It just takes a little bit of space to create a good mud pile. And soon you'll be so proud of them for making all those mud pies that you will happily eat. No, nope, don't say that. That's really cheesy. Ugh, eating mud pie is gross. There's definitely more benefits of playing with mud. One of them is that they gain a better immune system, which I've already made a video about. I'll put that up there and I'll link it in the description below. If you're interested in making your backyard into a place where kids can thrive and grow and gain all those benefits of playing in nature, subscribe. I would love to have you here and join the conversation. It lets the algorithm know that this is important and it helps other families find it as well. But for now, step outside, feel the dirt under your feet, look through the trees and notice the light. Take a deep breath in. And know you and your family were meant to be outside. It was created for you.